Hey Jen,
Hello, how are you?
good.
What's going on today?
Bunch of reschedules in this webinar.
This is the highlight of your day. Well, lucky me. So I know it's that time of year. I hear that a lot with all the different reschedules. So
Yeah, it's
uh
okay. We luckily I had some time with Tim Mulroy and kind of got me re ramped up in my practice. So things are starting to come through. So
well,
it's
good
nice.
deal. I know it's a lot of the planting the seeds, which we'll be talking a little bit about more today as well, about how to keep it going and know the things you're doing right now and stuff will help set the stage for starting the year off the way you want. Got some more people, everybody just logging in here. Uh, so as you guys are joining us, feel free to drop your name, what office you're calling or joint calling radio show, what office you're joining us from today. Any big awards that we can celebrate with you. I know this is kind of the end of the calendar year here for many of us. So we'd love to be able to join in and celebrate anything that's going on in your world with you as we go into this end of the year and the holiday season. So we'll give it just another minute, as I know people are probably bouncing from meeting to meeting, for everybody to log in, and then we'll get into our topic today. Oh, I should expect a pretty good group today. So, and feel free if there's any questions or particular things that are on your mind, feel free to drop those in the chat too while we're letting a couple other additional people log
Hey,
in if there's something you want to make sure we address today.
hey Jen,
Uh-huh.
did you already send my testimonials to compliance, or do we have to do that yet?
I have not because I sent them to you. I don't have their email addresses, so I haven't
Okay.
sent them to the clients to get the client sign off on. So if you want me to send them to the clients, I just need the email addresses. Otherwise, the emails I sent you, you can just forward on to them, and then
Mm,
once you get those back from them, then they can be set up with the compliance.
sweet.
So getting close. Get those done.
2024.
Yeah, crazy. So.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, we will get into things to make sure we're being respectful of everybody's calendar today. But I'm sure we'll have some more people that are joining us as we get going and everything. But it's great to be here with all of you. And as you're logging in, I said, anybody that's just jumping on, feel free to tell us what office or where you're joining us from in the chat. We'll see how much we can cover the states today. And if you've had your best year ever, achieved a big goal or award, let us know. We'd love to be able to celebrate that with you. I know many of you are working really hard for some big goals for the end of the year. And sometimes we're always immediately on to the next thing. That might be why you're here today. I'm already thinking about the new year, but it's also important to make sure that we pause for a moment and celebrate how far we've come and some of the things that are working well for us in our business. So congratulations to everybody that's with us today for all the things that you've done this year. Looks like we have Albany and Iowa and Appleton, Wisconsin so far. So whether you're thinking about, how to do this again next year and maybe do it even better, feeling maybe just exhausted and ready for the holidays and a couple days off, or you're super excited just to keep this momentum going, this is the right place for you. So if some of you guys may know, I'm a big athlete, a sports fan, and one of the things I enjoy watching is football or soccer, as we call it more so in the States. And I'm just going to let some people in here. And when there's a goal in soccer, what do they say when there's a goal? And Andrew, I'll pick on you since I know you as well. What do they say when they make a goal in soccer? Uh, yeah,
Go!
exactly. Perfect. Right. There's all this energy. It goes on for like ever. It's super loud. Like there's energy to it. So if you want to score more ideal clients and you create more raving fans for your business, you're in the right place today because that's all we're going to talk about. is our goal is to make sure that we can help you spend more time doing what you love in this business. Some of you know I've worked for Northwestern Mutual for almost 20 years, both in the field and in the home office. And I would sit in conference after conference, taking all these exams, consulting with advisors all across the country, from newer advisors to forum, for more than 2 decades. But what I would hear over and over from them, which was the same thing that I experienced for myself when I started my business, was how do I prospect authentically? I remember talking with my coach and thinking, oh my gosh, who's even going to remember me when I call them? They're going to be like, Jennifer who? The most common name, one of the most common names there is. But I knew it was an activity game, but that there also felt like there should be a way to make this easier. I wondered, how do you build a business around the things that I could really do best for my clients? Anyone else just want to build relationships and practice your craft and leave operations or people management or prospecting or maybe even marketing to someone else? We all want to play our position, do what we do best, and spend more time doing that and leaving other things to other people. And finally, I wanted to figure out, how could I just help more people? How could I reach more people, make a bigger impact, but in a way that would balance both those quick wins and what feels like is urgent matters that we have to deal with in the day, while creating systems that really create long-term change, generate repeatable results to get you closer to the vision that you have for your business. And I know, like I said, my story is not unique, that many small business owners struggle with those same things when it comes to client acquisition and how to work on their business, not just in their business. So I knew there had to be a better way. And that's when I decided to leave the corporate world and start working with business owners directly to help them the way that I knew that they needed. So now, instead of dreading prospecting, business owners have a lead generation plan that's going to generate 20 to 30% of their business. That's what we're going to talk more about today. And instead of trying to do everything, they have the confidence in their niche and a clear value proposition, which attracts their ideal clients to them. Andrew and I were just talking a little bit about testimonials and some of the work we've been doing for him in that space. And instead of being scattered or feeling like they're doing random acts of marketing, there's actually a playbook for success that creates that scale and gives you control in your business. So I believe that to provide the most impact, it's when you can play your position, you can stay on offense and leverage that winning system that helps you score more ideal clients and create more raving fans. That's what other people are missing. And we're going to give you some tools to help you do that today. So whether you've had that best year ever, you fought to maintain and maybe had some setbacks this year, or you're just trying to figure out one or two things that might be relevant to your practice in the new year, this webinar is here, the right fit for you to help you make sure that you avoid the January slump and hit the ground running as we go into the new year. So my name's Jennifer Hensley, or Jen the Playmaker, and I believe that you deserve to work with more of your ideal clients, and that January doesn't have to be so hard. So as I said, in the past 20 years, I've worked with over 1,500 small business owners score more ideal clients and create better raving fans for their businesses. So in the next roughly 45 minutes, we might even get done a little bit sooner than that, I'm going to give you the 3 fastest ways to avoid the January slump, because I know if you can win the J months, what do they say? If you win the J months, you can win your entire year. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about how you can increase consideration for people to want to do business with you by being more known, liked, and trusted. I think some of you have probably heard me speak on this recently in some of our office presentations. We're going to go deeper into that. We're going to talk about how to nurture relationships and enhance the client experience. This is the part of the marketing winning system that's going to help you score, that's going to have the most value to help you avoid that January slump. And the reason we're talking about this today is because if you wait, you lose potentially a whole month and you're already behind on your goals. And we know that just asking isn't always the answer for everything, right? And let's face it, for most of us, it's not the most fun. We don't necessarily love to do it. So it'd be great if there were other ways to generate more clients as well. So imagine what would it feel like if you're ahead of pace for your goals at the end of January. Wow, if you're not playing catch up the whole entire year and you're already ahead of pace, how would that feel to you? So I have a poll for you that I'm going to launch here. And I just want to get a sense from you on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being really strong, how you feel like you're doing in each of the areas that we're going to talk about today. So let me pull that up here. Okay, so
Are there
you should.
negative numbers, Jen?
Don't be too hard on yourself. Come on, don't beat yourself up. But let us know in terms of increasing consideration. Give yourself a score of 1 to 5 in that. So that's being more known, liked, and trusted. And then you should also be able to answer each of these. Nurturing relationships to convert. A lot of times that's about, um, your communications, your digital interaction, everything part of that. We'll be talking about that. And then creating raving fans through an experience that wows and eliminates friction. So we've got a few answers in there. I'll give that just a minute, especially I know we've got people that are just joining us. Okay. In the poll. So it looks like, we're from 2 to 4, kind of the middle ground there in terms of increasing consideration. Nurturing relationships, 3 to 4, a little bit stronger there, which is not surprising, very common of what I see of why, especially those of you that are financial advisors or you're in relationship businesses, so much of what you do is building those and nurturing those relationships and then creating that experience, kind of middle ground of 2 as well. So thankfully everybody feels like they have a little bit of foundation. We don't have any negative numbers out there, Andrew, and everything. And we're figuring out today, hopefully, how we can raise some of those closer to that 4 or 5 in your business. Okay, still sharing my screen here. Make sure the technology works. So at the end of our time together today, I'm going to ask you to take the next step to join our 12 Days of Clients Challenge. That's going to take all of what we talk about today and give you a chance to really start implementing it. So don't worry if you don't know where to start or you need help breaking this down in a really fun way to get it off the ground. We're going to give you the tools to help you do that. But put your devices away and stay with me to the end, and we'll make sure to take some live questions. And we're also going to give away a few gifts for the holiday season because we're feeling festive today. We're almost to Christmas. We know it's right around the corner here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is increasing consideration to do business with you by being known, liked, and trusted. Because we know people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. So the reason we're talking about this is because marketing is no longer optional. A strong brand can speak for you and drive more potential clients. I recently just heard Craig Culver talk how much about, even for their brand with Culver's, how essential that online presence is and how it can really help you or it can hurt you if you're not careful. Getting specific about your clients and increasing the likelihood that they want to do business with you really makes all the rest of your marketing so much more easy and more effective for you. So let me give you a few quick wins on things you could probably implement really quickly in your business. And then I'll talk about, as we go through each of these, some things that might take a little bit longer to implement over the next few weeks or months as well. But let's break this down and take some notes. So a couple immediate things. Create a custom social media post to share your story. Talk about who you met this week and what questions they had. I was just talking to an advisor this morning. We're talking about that of, hey, if they're asking you like, oh, or saying, I didn't realize you could help me with all these other questions I had. Talk about that so other people know they could come to you with those types of questions as well. Share what makes you different. Share maybe what you read or you listened to this week. What stood out to you? What did you learn? Don't make this difficult. And don't get stuck worrying about compliance and feeling like, oh, I don't want to get my hand slapped. It's worth it just to show up and be you and talk about what's going on. Secondly, invite more of your connections to connect, or more individuals to connect and follow you. Grow your audience. And I would challenge you, if you don't have a standard process of when you invite people to connect with you on LinkedIn or Facebook, start that today. Don't say it's just when I happen to think about it. Make sure you have a process to grow your audience so people can learn and connect with you and start to get to know you, because we know not everybody buys right away. A couple things that are might take a little bit more work or effort to put in is to align your message consistently across all your digital platforms. So your website, social, Google Business, anywhere you show up, make sure that your message stands out and you feel good about what it conveys to your audience, especially to that ideal client that you're trying to attract. If you're not sure what to say, or you're not a writer, there are some tools like ChatGPT that can be a great starting point for editing content or brainstorming. Or, it's something that we often do for our clients as well, is just to write their content for them because we know they may not enjoy that or feel like they get stuck. Just like we did for Mike Riggs and Dipti Krishna lately, to help take that off their plate. Another thing would be to obtain testimonials or stories of how you've helped others just like them. And yes, testimonials can be approved. That's what Andrew was just asking about, that we've been working on together, is getting some testimonials from his clients that can showcase the things that you do and the markets and particular niches that you work for. And we're in that space where everybody looks for reviews. We know they want to see who's talking about you, and not just the person that referred them to you, but who else can share what their experiences have been working with your firm. It's one of the things that we really love doing because it just increases not only that credibility that other people want to do business for you with you, but also for our clients, usually increases their confidence and conviction about what they're doing by being able to see those words from their clients about the impact they've had. And then finally, develop a lead generation plan that uses at least 3 different strategies to obtain leads. So we know referrals, if you're a referral based business, which most of you probably are, is the lifeblood of your business. But hey, if you had some additional things in there that are generating 20 to 30% of your business consistently, what a difference could that make for you and your practice? So everyone's going to tell you that the measure of success is the number of prospects you have, the number of leads you have. But I'm telling you not to forget about the people that you don't know that are prospects yet, but are already looking at you. How many people are out there seeing you online that we don't even know about, may not necessarily be engaging yet? Don't forget about those people. So let me give you the best place to start. Post something that happened this week, whether it was a question you heard or something you read, because those custom posts or those more original kind of content creates 30 times the level of engagement and will jumpstart being more known, liked, and trusted. So that's all I have to say about increasing consideration for client acquisition. Let's move on to our second topic, nurturing the relationship. And the reason we're going to spend the next 5 minutes or so on this is because we know that not everybody buys immediately. For many of you, our ratios are 10-3-1, that you have to get 10 individuals that you're introduced to get one client. So if they're not all going to buy immediately, it's really important that we're nurturing those relationships. And hopefully there's some additional needs that we can solve for them beyond that initial conversation. So here's a couple quick wins to accelerate your business. Invite prospects to your newsletter early in the sales process so they can continue to learn what you do and how you help people. Don't wait until the close or the time they already become a client. We want to get ahead of them and stay in connection with them sooner in the process. And email is still one of the best tools that you have, where you have the most control of reaching your audience compared to even social or other tools, is to make sure that people are connecting with you via email. Comment on their content, whether it's a social media post, an article maybe they wrote or were featured in, a blog, or an award that they received. Make sure you're engaging with their content. If you're working with small business owners, how meaningful would that be to them if you were engaging with their content and helping them spread the word about their business? I'm sure that they would greatly appreciate that. So here's a ninja tip for you, for some of you that are ready to take on a little bit more. Identify your dream 25, that future client list. Who are 25 people that would make great clients? And each day, engage or comment with one of the 25, whether it's a direct message or you comment on their content, or you send them a text, whatever it might be. If you engage with each of those over that time frame in 90 days, you'll have engaged with all 25 3 times. How do you think that might increase the likelihood of some of those turning into business conversations? I was working with one of my clients, Daniel, a while back, and we were talking about social media, and he said he doesn't really use social media a lot personally. So I was trying to think, where does that fit in professionally? And we started to talk about how he could engage with other people's social and show up for them. He was really excited about that. And man, did it pay off. In our first quarter working together, he started seeing more of his ideal clients than ever. And his average household income doubled up to the types of clients that he was talking to. So it really can make a huge difference. So everyone's talking about, what should you post? But I say even more than that, how can you show up and engage with other people? And I know when it comes to nurturing those relationships, if any of you guys don't know Andrew that's on the line, you should get to know him. He's fantastic in this space. Was highlighted, I know, at annual meeting in years past too, because how great he is in terms of caring for his clients and prospects and developing that relationship. So shout out to you, Andrew. So, and for some of you that aren't overwhelmed yet, you're going to run right back to the office, or as soon as we get off the call, back to your desk and implement everything we talked about. But make sure you avoid these mistakes. Trying to do everything immediately, making this a one and done, or feeling like you must do it all yourself. So that's all I have to say about nurturing relationships. Let's talk about our third area today. The third way to generate those relationships in the new year is going to be all about enhancing the experience. So we'll go into this, and then we're going to open it up for some additional questions too. So if you have those, feel free to go ahead and start dropping some questions in the chat. We'll make sure to address things that are on each of your guys' minds, in particular about marketing and prospecting in the new year. So here are some things that I'd like for you to think about in this space. And if you have a notepad or a place on your computer, you want to open something up just to jot a couple notes, I'm going to, let me switch my computer or my camera here. And there we go. I think you can see that. So the first thing I want you to think about is what is, and I'll try to make my writing legible. What is the client experience that you want to provide? Give that a thought. What is the client experience that you want to provide? Once you've thought about that, I want you to think about, instead of the client experience, what is the prospect experience that you want to provide? How is that different, if at all? Or how much are you thinking about currently, maybe what you're doing for prospects before they actually become clients, and what that experience is? Okay. Next, I want you to think about, what is the COI, those influencers or those partners? Oh, this one's not working as well. Those influencers or the partners, what is that experience for them? Are you thinking about, when you have a client engagement plan or client touch plan, how are you staying in touch with and continuing to nurture your COIs and partners? And once you've thought about each of these groups, what experiences that you want to provide to your clients, to your prospects, and to your partners, I want you to ask yourself, how does your current experience that you're delivering today compare to that? Be honest with yourself. What gaps do you see? What's going well? What opportunities are there? Those gaps and those successes. I always want to build on what's going well, but be aware of where we have opportunities we can continue to close the gap on what you want to provide and how you want to separate your firm from other options. The last question I want you to think about is, what's one thing that you could do differently in the next 30 days? One thing, because we know there's so many different things, and especially right now, things competing for our time and our priorities. What's the one thing that you could do to provide some kind of surprise and delight for some of your clients, prospects, or centers of influence, or to be able to eliminate potential friction, make things easier. If anybody wants to share, I'd love to hear any ideas that come to mind if you want to drop it in the chat, or if you're brave and willing to unmute yourself and share what comes to mind. Love to hear any ideas and takeaways of what you're ready to do differently. Everybody's quiet.
Hey, Jen.
Yep.
I just had a friend from, good gosh, junior high school that I was connected to on Facebook. And when we were talking, she just opened up a brand new, I think it's like a spiritual healing shop with like the essential oils and incense and yoga mats and whatever. And she's traveled the world to learn like spirituality, like well-being. And I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? I didn't like her page back.
Mm.
And then I went on there and she didn't have a page. So I made a comment and said, hey, is there a page that you have that I can promote and support? So I'm going to go out there and make sure I'm supporting all my friends' businesses and
Awesome.
go from there.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, as a small business owner, right, that can make a huge difference for them. And if you're taking that initiative too to say, hey, I didn't see this, but what can I do to help support you? I'm sure that will mean a lot to her, especially if she's newer starting that business. So fantastic. Glad to hear that. So, the reason we're really talking about enhancing the experience is because creating raving fans is the best way to generate new leads without you having to ask for them, right? Who doesn't want to have to ask all the time? This is the way to do it. And this is where we often tend to have the most fun in our business because business is coming to us organically even more. So a couple quick wins is send a handwritten note. It's so rare anymore that people send handwritten notes that it will set you apart if you take the time to do it. I was talking to Annie recently, a newer advisor, very limited budget and time, at this point in her career, but she was super excited to implement this because she even has one of her clients who's a artist, and she thought that would be a fantastic way to do this is to have them create and design her stationery so it's got a connection to a client of hers and is very unique to her, and a way to have a personal connection with people that she's meeting with. Another idea would just be to provide an unsolicited recommendation. So maybe you can go out to somebody else's LinkedIn page that you've observed from afar, or some of the work that they're doing, and write them a recommendation. Talk about what's going well in their business, or a Google review if they're on Google. The showing up for them. These are some ways that you can do that are pretty quick and easy to do. Some things that might take a little bit more time, is to think about your entire process, walk through it if you were your own client or your own best client. And where do you identify any potential points of friction? What could be better in that process? Really put yourself in their shoes and develop a client engagement plan to meaningfully connect with your top clients and prospects at least 18 times a year. Now, that might feel a little bit daunting. It can be easy to get there when you talk about adding in social and email. Now, on the opposite side, if just posting on social cannot count as all 18 of those, or sending, 12 newsletters is not 12 touch points that we're really talking about here. So it's definitely about making sure that you have a combination of things that are a little bit more automated with those things that are very personal, like that handwritten note that really set yourself apart. I know some of you might be worried maybe some of these recommendations won't work for you, or maybe you've heard these before, but here's what I know is that when implemented correctly and executed consistently, that's what generates results in your business. You don't have to have a lot of fancy toys. I know some of you like fancy cars and stuff like that, but when it comes to marketing, it's not always about like the fancy thing. It's about doing the key things repeatedly, consistently, and intentionally that really generate results. So the one thing you could do today is maybe just send a thoughtful text to somebody that you're thinking of them, that you're asking them, how are you really doing? I know this is a hard time of the year for some people going into the holidays. How can you be present in that? When I first started working with one of my clients, Lauren, she said she used to do handwritten cards, but then she got so busy, and she would send gifts, but really just when she happened to find out about it. She would see somebody post something and it was like, oh, they're having a baby or they're moving, I should do something. So it was kind of that random acts of marketing like we were talking about, but she had the best intentions. So what we developed though was an intentional client engagement plan that made sure we had processes in place to know what was happening with her clients' lives. And we knew exactly how we were going to support those efforts when they happen to make sure that we could engage in a meaningful way. So she's so excited that now she has a plan that executes on her intentions consistently. So if I had more time, I'd teach you even more about how to leverage others and get specific about your market so that you can accelerate your business. But the one thing for today is to remember is to take action. Remember, it's progress over perfection. And even if you don't have a plan, paying attention and acknowledging your clients, your prospects, your business partners is going to take you light years ahead. So I have another poll question for you that, if I can get to the right spot here, okay, is as we think about going into the new year and some of the things that we've talked about, which are you most committed to leveling up? And you can select multiple, but what are the ones you're committed to leveling up? Is it increasing consideration? You're going to show people more about who you are, establish that trust, that connection, continuing to nurture those relationships through some of your communications and the ways that you engage with people with commenting and things on social, or creating those raving fans, doing more in terms of their client experience that you have for people. Maybe just a little bit more time to think about that. Okay. So it looks like, not surprisingly, since you guys are feeling pretty good about nurturing relationships, not as much focus there as in the other two, but some opportunities in those areas that you have some energy around as we go into the new year. So you're committed to change. Awesome. We're excited that you've got something from today, something you're ready to move forward and up level in your business, but you might still be saying, okay, of these ideas, where do I start? And like we said, it's all about being consistent and intentional that really starts to move the needle. So every day I work with advisors and small business owners and referral based business owners, businesses just like you, to help develop and implement right sized marketing plans that really deliver results. And based on that, in our conversation today, I believe the next step for you is, like I said, is to join the 12 Days of Clients Challenge. And how this works and everything is what it is. It's a fun text-based challenge that's going to be going on from January 3rd to the 19th that requires only about 12 minutes of your time for during each business day for 12 business days to create a better 12 months ahead. Even better, we're going to have some daily prizes and a grand prize winner for a prize valued at over $400. And in addition, as you take action, we're matching that activity with a charitable give back. I think last year we gave over a couple $100s or so to a charity, and hoping to this year maybe even double that. That would be fantastic to be able to do start the year, because we know so many people give right now, and then you go into the new year and there's still needs there, and we'd love to be able to continue to support that at a high level. And what it does is provide you that jump start on your client acquisition efforts in a fun and engaging way that is going to result in over 75 connections in just 12 business days. So you can do the math. I know some of you know how much every time you reach out and you make a dial or you make a new connection, what that's worth for you in your practice. So think about that return that it's going to generate if you make 75 connections in 12 days. And what it means is you don't have to do this alone or guess what you should do or walk away and say, now I have these ideas, but am I actually going to execute on them? You're surrounded by a group of supportive people all going through this with you. So whether you're struggling to get more introductions, you're looking for better introductions, or to create more of those advocates, the 12 Days of Clients is going to help you with that. So scan the QR code right now and it'll take you to playmakercoach.com/12 Days of Clients. So I encourage you, I want you to go out there and do that right now and sign up for the text challenge so it stays top of mind each day. Plus, as a bonus, each person that signs up with you earns you a $5 gift card. So it's always more fun when we do things with friends, right? So encourage your friends, your colleagues to join the challenge as well. So go now, and the first 5 people, because I said we had some gifts today as well to give away in the holiday spirit. The first 5 people that sign up are going to get a free month of our new MVP monthly program that starts in February. So you can do the challenge and then get a free month of the program where we're going to focus on helping you implement the most valuable marketing plays, those MVP plays that every small business owner should have. Plus, everyone that signs up for the 12 Days of Clients Challenge Day is going to receive a special 13th day of client surprise at the end of the challenge. So you won't want to miss it. We'll make sure that we deliver something amazing. So sign up now. And as you're going out there, just a couple additional things and everything as a special bonus that anybody who signs up for the webinar or signs up for the challenge that has participated in the webinar, you get 5 bonus points towards our grand prize because you were here today. And because you signed up before Christmas, you get 5 more. So you're giving yourself a head start on those grand prize drawings that we're going to have. Because the way it works is that ultimately the grand prize is going to be a gift to one of your clients or colleagues or on your behalf. So we're going to make you look like the hero that you are for your clients or those prospects that you want to get in front of. And every day for everybody that completes the challenge for that day, you get entered into a daily drawing where we're going to send a personal card. So instead of you having to think about what to say or go out and buy the cards and send it one lucky person each day just for taking action, we're going to do that for you. So we're going to make client experience, nurturing, and client acquisition the things that I know some of you said that that's what you want to move forward. We're going to make it easier than ever to make that a reality. So if you went out there, or as soon as you're done going out there and signing up, go to in the chat, drop in the chat and say, I'm in once you're registered. And we'll make sure that you get those bonuses for being the first people to do that. So, and I'm just checking the chat here. Is that Andrew says $12, is it? Yep, $12. So yeah, just so you have a little bit of something in the some skin in the game and everything, but we really just want to make it a great way to get everybody some momentum going as we go into the new year. So let's see, there was a question. What was the first one? Andrew, you might have to ask me that question again. But here's what one of our winners had to say from last year. Barbara said, one of my big goals for 2023 was to start marketing. I love numbers and analyzing data. She's a bookkeeper, but not marketing. So this was a real challenge for me. But with a growing team, I knew I had to do it. I joined Jennifer's 12 Days of Clients Challenge so I could learn from an expert and get this party started. Otherwise, I'd still be over here thinking and doing some marketing. After completing the challenge, I learned there's so many great options. Some things are actually fun. Without a good plan, it doesn't take a lot of time. I can choose things that feel right to me, that fit you. Some things actually bring you joy, like sending a small gift or a thank you for a client. When we take care of other people, it makes us feel good too. And it may have taken me out of my comfort zone, but now I know I can do this. Thank you for sharing your time and expertise. And she went on to say that this helped get her out of her comfort zone. And while marketing's not her wheelhouse, it helped her actually do it. So whether or not you achieve your vision, it's not up to chance. It's actually up to you. The choices you make today, the investments that you make, the decisions are in your control. It's up to you. So we have time for some questions and answers. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Just feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. What questions are there? Just gonna pull up the chat here so I can see that too. And man, I love it. Tara, Julie. I know Susie already joined. That's fantastic. So excited to have you guys in. I know we've already got a few people that have signed up already, and we'll be over the next week or so too as we lead into the new year. So you'll be hearing more about it, and we'll be super excited to get that off the ground. One of the questions I hear most frequently is, I'm not sure I have time to do this, or maybe I'm going to be on vacation at the beginning part of the year. Can I still do this? Well, the great news is that there's flexibility. So if you miss a day, you can still go back and make it up. I mean, it's not about being perfect, like I said, it's about just getting the momentum and starting to build that consistency. So if you miss one, you can use the weekend to make it up or double up the next day. We're going to give you the challenge in advance so you can kind of look at it and plan ahead too. So if you need to give some thought to some things, you'll be well set up and equipped for it. Andrew says, what's the longest goal you have kicked? Longest goal? Well, in soccer, I don't know. Gosh, not that long. I do not have the power leg that some people do. I'm the distributor. Remember, I'm the center midfielder, so usually it's more distributing to other people. But I do love it when I get a chance to score as well. So I don't know, probably from around the outside of the box, or something not too terribly far. Single game record for goals scored. For me, oh man, my husband tells me every time, he's like, go get a hat trick. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever had a hat trick. Like I said, I'm the distributor, the quarterback, the setter, the playmaker that helps other people get those hat tricks and lots of goals. And I love doing that. And that's what I'd love to do for you all in your business too, is help bring the best ideas and resources to you so that you can go out there and you can score all the goals. So remember, now's the time to get started. If there's any additional questions, I can certainly answer those for them. One of the most common ones I get is just, how do I find the time for marketing? And I think it's important to think about it, sales and marketing. They go hand in hand. So think about whether you're dating Sam or you're married to Sam. What's your relationship with Sam? And start with maybe just 12 minutes a day. That's what we're asking you to do as far as this challenge, is start with 12 minutes a day to start working on some of the things that we're implementing, talk about today. And you'll be amazed at the momentum you can build, because it's less about sophistication, those shiny objects that we're talking about. It's more about consistency. What did you add in there, Andrew? Distribute 12 goals, aka new clients in 12 days for us. Yep, let's do it, right? That would be an awesome January. We can start off with that momentum. So if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I'd be certainly willing to answer those or talk more one-on-one about what to expect from the challenge, as well as what's going on in your own business that I can be a resource for. You can email me at jennifer@playmakercoach.com, or my contact information is available here. I've thought about my word for the next year, because I'm a big believer about living life with intention. And my word for 2024 is going to be go. So it is go time. It's go time of how I can help you go to the places you want to go and spend more time doing what you want to do. So I'll leave with you with this: is now is the time to quit chasing leads. Now is the time to get that jump on 2024. Now is the time to play full out. Now is the time. Let's go. So I appreciate all your time this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you guys in January.
Same to you, Jen. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Nice to see you.